Hey everyone, this is Andrew. Thanks for joining me on this beautiful sunny day. Today we are test riding the 2018 Ibis Ripley LS. This bike is a kind of like a cross-country trail 29er. It's got a 120 millimeter rear travel in the back, and the Fox fork up front has 130 millimeter. So it's categorized in that XC trail. However, I've seen a lot of people utilize it for more of that trail side of the scale to great use. This bike utilizes a DW Link suspension system. DW stands for Dave Weigel. He is a renowned suspension designer. His platforms are on multiple manufacturers, including Ibis, Pivot, Turner, Evil. So he's got quite a name out there for himself. And what's cool about this suspension system in the back is it rotates on two eccentric pivots. Basically, it's I don't know how to describe it really, but the rear stay is connected via two like cartridge pivot systems. I'll have a close look of it here for you. And they basically rotate in directions to create the suspension travel for the swing arm. And in a sense, it makes this bike a climbing rocket. I'm open on the shock, and all this thing wants to do is accelerate forward. Virtually no bob, maybe a tiny twitch, if you had to call it anything, and it just shoots forward. Really impressed with how it's pedaling. Could take over for my previous feeling that the Yeti SB 5.5 as one of the better climbing full suspension bikes. Granted, this does have 20 millimeters less travel, but man, it's almost near hardtail like. And kind of when you hit like a little rock or something in the trail, that's kind of where you get that sense of shock absorption. So really good, really efficient. It's gonna really make this climb easy, I can tell. So more about the bike. This is their GX Eagle build. So it has their GX 1x12 Eagle drivetrain. So gearing is 10 to 50. And it's mated to their Truvative Descendant crankset, which I find odd. I don't know why they just put the Eagle GX Eagle cranks on there. But anyways, Dior Shimano brakes, KS dropper post, Fox suspension front and back. Their Fox 34 Performance with a grip damper and a DPS float in the back. It runs Ibis's branded aluminum wheels. I keep getting conflicting information on this. On the wheel itself, it says 35 millimeter bead to bead, but the website says 34 inner width. So 1 millimeter, not a deal breaker there, so interpret that how you want. It is running the Schwalbe 2.6 knobby nicks. So it is designed to have kind of that extra, like not quite mid-fat, but kind of mid-fat tire. Ibis's website does have, or they do note that these wheels play well with the WT tires from Maxxis. Bars are Ibis branded, and the grips are lizard skin. All right. So I'm riding a size large. Actually feels decently roomy. Ibis hasn't been known to have the longest cockpits, but if you're a numbers guy, I put a link in the description on their website for this bike. I'm more of a feel guy. I will note the head angle is, I believe, 67.5 with the 130 mil fork, and produces a static 73 degree C-tube angle. And I'm in a really good climbing position. My back is more upright, feels really comfortable, not too stretched out. And I would say for a bike as this intense, you could really put some miles in, horizontally and vertically. The front end is really accurate. Doesn't have that sometimes muted feeling you get with 29ers. I think the steeper front head angle kind of helps contribute to that. So overall, for this large, it feels really good. All right, let's kind of summarize this climbing experience so far. We're about halfway done with our climb, and this still maintains that really fast, efficient climbing characteristics. Every pedal stroke I put down is just moving the bike forward and not down into the travel. Very efficient. All right, guys, we're at the top. We're getting ready to descend into the my test track pop rocks. I'm going to take a moment to give a shout out to the Bike Hub. This is where we borrowed the bike from. They are the Spokane area Ibis dealer. Great group of guys. They're gracious enough to let me take these bikes out, do some ride reviews for you, and give you some first impressions. So big shout out to them, and always thankful. So we're getting ready to go, and let's head down. One thing I've been really impressed about this bike in the Trance is the grip damper in the Fox 34 fork. If you're deterred because it doesn't have the fit damper, I'd say don't be. It feels really plush and smooth. And you can probably get it for a pretty good price. One thing I can feel is the rear end on this is really stiff. I don't know if you've looked up close with the tubing on the Ibis rear end. Really thick tubes. All the contact points to the front triangle are really strong. It's definitely a livelier bike, especially for a 29er. I feel I can really point this in any direction I want, and it'll go there. I would say the knobby neck 2.6s, not as much grip as I would want. A little slick on these rock surfaces, and I probably want something a little beefier. But again, this is a very agile bike for a 29er. Probably that head angle, shorter little wheelbase than I'm used to. Probably all contributes to that. But it handled that rough stage really well. And that was probably a lot rougher than most would want to take this bike on for their everyday ride. So this next section is going to be probably more what it wants to go on. Let me fix the gimbal here. It's kind of going all over the place. Alright, so got the gimbal sorted out. Still working on the best position for that thing. So here we are. We're about ready to jump into the flat pedal section, grab some gears, put the power down, and man, this thing just rockets forward. Every pedal stroke moves you forward. It almost feels like a hardtail. Probably want to slow the rebound down a little bit next time. Keep it a little bit more composed if that's all I was doing. Couple rock strikes. Hey everybody, we are wrapping up our test ride of the 2018 Ibis Ripley LS. Really fun day today. This bike was really playful. It climbed up the hills really well. Probably the best climbing bike now that I've ever ridden. And it was also really playful going down. It handled a lot of rough stuff today, but it still remained pretty stable. It could be a little bit more stable, I think, maybe with a little bit stiffer front fork. But again, for what this bike is intended to be used for, it did great. So, you know, who is this bike for? If you're looking to really put in a lot of horizontal and vertical miles, this is going to be the perfect bike for you. If you like the idea of having a really efficient bike, but maybe a little bit more stable going down, Ibis says you can put a 140 mil fork on here instead of the 130. And if you went to like a, you know, if you wanted like a Pike or a Fox 36, it would really stiffen up that front end. But overall, it was a great package today. This particular build, this is the GX Eagle build, retails at about just under $4,700. They do build all the way through XL1 and XX1, and they also have a Shimano XT build for all you Shimano fans. So overall, it was a really fun day. I'm glad you came out and went riding with us. If you liked what you saw today, please like or subscribe, and we'll be pumping out a lot more videos like this, vlogs, gear reviews, and all of that. So thanks for hanging out with us, and have a good day.